What's up, everyone? Carter Maxwell here, the high school hustler. And in this video, I'll be going over the best way to make $10,000 per month fast selling online in 2018. So, with it being late January, early February in 2018, everyone is looking for the next opportunity to make money online. If it be selling on Shopify, selling on eBay, selling on Amazon, or whatever. That's why I wanted to make this video, just kind of break down what I personally think is going to be the easiest way for like a new seller or an already established seller to take their new business from zero to 5,000, 10,000, $15,000 per month quickly. So let's get right into it. So my personal opinion on one of the best ways to make money online in 2018 is going to be reselling on Amazon FBA. Now, when I first started my Amazon journey, this is the exact business model that I used. I would find random items such as books, video games, toys, electronics from either like thrift stores, or I would go to garage sales or book sales, and I would purchase these items for extremely cheap. Like I would have purchased books for like $1 and I'd be selling them for $15, $20 all day long. And that's why I really like this business model. And that's why I think it's going to be one of the best in 2018 and the easiest and cost efficient for maybe new sellers or already established sellers to get into. So throughout this video, I'll be going over some of the different benefits of this business model, where you can source these items, if it be garage sales, thrift stores, or even online sourcing. And I'll be going over just a breakdown of what exactly reselling is and how you can scale your business from zero to $10,000 per month quickly. Now, there are so many different benefits when it comes to reselling on Amazon FBA. So I'm going to go over a few of the more important benefits, starting with the low startup cost. There aren't many businesses that you can start for under $100. I mean, there's the seller plan, which is going to be $40 per month, and it's totally worth it. And then it's obviously going to be the price that you pay for your inventory. Now, depending on what you're buying, if it be video games, books, electronics, you can usually get them for around $1 to $10 per unit on average, which is going to be extremely cheap. For instance, if you go to a book sale and you buy 100 books, you're probably going to be able to get those books from around 50 cents to $1 or $2, depending on if they're a paperback or a hardback. Now, let's say you go to a Goodwill and you can find an electronic item anywhere from probably $8 to $15, I'd say, used. And with certain electronics, like if it be like a VCR player, a DVD player, I mean, those can fetch anywhere from 100 to 300 plus dollars on Amazon. And people are always looking to buy them, even if they're really old models. Now, other than the low startup cost, it's extremely convenient and efficient to use the Amazon FBA platform. Now, for those of you that don't really know what FBA stands for, it's fulfillment by Amazon. So Amazon is going to be fulfilling all of your sales for you. For instance, let's just say you sourced 20 books, a couple electronics, a couple different CDs, and you're ready to send them to Amazon for sale. So you're going to create a big shipment. You're then going to send that shipment to the designated warehouse, and they will store all your products for a very, very low monthly fee at that Amazon warehouse. And once your product then sells on Amazon, the Amazon fulfillment team will then take your product, pick, pack, and ship it 2-day shipping to your customer for you. So you could literally be at your full-time job. You could be at school, which is what I do. And whenever I get a sale, I just scroll down, check I made a sale, made 5, 10, 20 bucks. And Amazon just shipped that to my customer for me. I didn't even have to touch it. So it's extremely convenient and extremely efficient. Now, other than using the Amazon FBA platform, a low startup cost, you're going to have extremely high margins when it comes to reselling, because you're going to be individually picking out certain items that you want. So if you want a profit of at least $5, $10, $15 per unit, you can make that adjustment. For instance, like books. Books are an item that are extremely undervalued by certain sellers, be it garage sales, at different book sales. You're going to be able to get books for around, on average, I'd say around $1 to $2 buy cost. And you're going to be able to sell these books easy. Bread and butter, I'd say, is around $10 to $15, which is going to probably net you around $8, $9 profit. And then you're also going to be able to find those really high dollar kind of rare books, which are around that $15 to anywhere I've seen all the way over $300. Now, another huge benefit to the reselling business model are going to be extremely high profit margins. So depending on what you're selling, if it be a book or an electronic, you're going to be buying them for pretty cheap. Like books, usually on average, I used to get them for around like $1 to $2, depending on if it was a paperback or a hardback. And usually, like the bread and butter books, I would fetch anywhere from $10 to $15 per book, which would net me around $8, $9, $10 profit. And then sometimes you'd find those really high dollar books, the books that would sell for around $40 to like $200 plus. Now, obviously, not every book's going to be worth that, but every time I'd say I would go to a book sale and I would buy anywhere from 100 to 200 books, I would say about 4 or 5 books I was going to try to sell for around over $100. I mean, even if that book takes like a year to sell, I mean, a small paperback, it's going to cost you around like probably 4 cents a month to store it. So even if it's a larger like hardcover book and it costs you 6 or 7 cents, 6 or 7 cents times 12 months, if it takes you a full year to sell that book and you sell it for like $100, it's going to be totally worth it. Even if you just sit on it for a month or a year or 2 years, it's not going to matter, especially if you're buying it for $1, $2, and selling it for 200. Now, I've seen sellers that are making hundreds of thousands to millions of dollars per year selling books on Amazon, so it can be done, and it's definitely one of the best items. Like when I used to sell just random items I would find when I used to resell on Amazon, books were probably 70% of my inventory. Now, my high ticket items were definitely electronics. I mean, you could go to like a Goodwill or like different garage sales and just find like those older electronics that people thought they no longer had value. They were just looking to get rid of, and you could easily get them for probably like $5 to $15 is what I usually buy them on average. And usually that'd sell for anywhere from $50 to $250. Now I know you might seem that's like extremely crazy, but honestly, all you have to do is just look up the brand name of that product and the model number and just see how much it's worth. I mean, I'd say when I would go to a Goodwill and if there were like 10 different electronics there, at least 2 or 3 of them were worth at least $75 plus. Now, usually, depending on what I'm buying it for and depending on how big the electronic is, I like to stick for around at least $100 to sell it around, but usually I do fetch anywhere from $200 to $250. And I think the most expensive electronic that I sold personally was I think like a VCR for around $300 plus. So definitely you can make a lot of money. So those are just a few of the many different benefits in the reselling business model. Now let's get into exactly where you can find these different items to resell back on Amazon FBA, starting with garage sales. Now, if you're looking for different garage sales, you can go to garagesalefinder.com, just punch in your zip code, and it'll pull up all the sales that people have placed on that website. Now, usually it's going to be a fairly low percentage because most people are just going to be too lazy when it comes to actually going and putting in the details and pictures of the site. You can also find them on Craigslist as well. But majority of the garage sales I just find just driving around, and you'll see signs on the side of the road that say garage sales with an arrow, and usually just follow it. Now, the thing I really like about garage sales is that you're going to have a really, really low competition when it comes to resellers. Now, if you're to compare garage sales to like a Goodwill is open majority of the day, 7 days a week, which allows a bunch of different resellers from different areas to come in and target those certain Goodwills. With garage sales, they're probably only going to be open maybe Friday morning and Saturday morning, or maybe just Saturday morning, and they're only going to be in certain locations. And depending on the income level of that area, resellers might stay away. And especially if you can get to these garage sales early, which I highly recommend, like 7:30, 8 a.m. in the morning, you can really make sure you beat your competition. Other than that, when it comes to garage sales, people are looking to get rid of their stuff. They're looking to clear out their attic. They're looking to clear out their garage. They're looking to just get rid of the stuff and make a couple bucks. So that gives you, the reseller, a huge opportunity to come in and just get some really good deals. For instance, like electronics, books, video games. I mean, you have the chance of walking into like a collector's house. Their mom is just looking to get rid of their son's video games. Their son's off at college. He's just gone. She's like, all right, what, name your price. And you can always bargain at garage sales too. Like I mentioned, everything is negotiable. If they say this is going to be $5 for this video game, just be like, all right, will you take three? And they're like, no, I can take four. Well, you just saved $1. Or maybe if you can find a couple items like an electronic, maybe you have a couple books, a video game, you can negotiate a price, and most likely they're going to accept that price. And also at garage sales, you're going to be able to find home run items. Now, these are the best items. These are going to be the high ticket, the high margin deals. These are going to be the deals where you find an electronic for $10 and it's an extremely rare one and it sells for $300 plus. Or maybe you find a collector's edition like video game, or you find this huge video game or old vintage book stash, and you just buy all of them and they all give you $15 profit per unit. And that's where you're going to be able to find the home run items. Sales are going to be another great place to source. You can find them on booksalefinder.com. Is definitely the best website. You can go in there. You can go through by state and just see the different times of the year that these book sales are. You can click in on each book sale and see exactly how many books are going to be there, what they're charging per book, what times of the week, what times of the day you can come in and go to these book sales. Now, I don't have it pulled up right now, but usually if it's a decent sized book sale, they're going to have what is known as a preview sale, and that's kind of where you can get the kind of the first dibs, the first action at going through and actually sourcing those books. Now, usually it's for like a 2 hour or 3 hour period before like the big sale. So if it's like a Friday night, it's going to be from like probably like 5 to 7. And then on Saturday, it's going to be from like 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Now, you definitely want to go to those preview sales because that's when all the other resellers are going to go. That's when all the good product is going to be taken. So that's where you're going to want to go with your scanner. Now, when I used to do books, I had a Bluetooth scanner that I was able to clip onto the back of my phone. I believe it was a socket ACI, and I would just connect it Bluetooth to my phone, and I would just go through scanning books. Like every second, I'll be scanning a book, looking on my phone, checking out the database, seeing what the rank of the book was, what the current price they were selling for, and if it wasn't what I was looking for, I'd go to the next book, scan it, next book, and I would just go through certain sections as well. For instance, like everyone would go straight to the business and technology books, then maybe to the foreign books, but no one would ever look for the children's books. I don't know why. Whenever I would watch different resellers, they would always go for those big sections, like I mentioned earlier, like sometimes history, business, but they would always leave the children's sections out. So make sure you take advantage of that. There's lots of high dollar children's books. Easily you can find $20, $25 books all day long. And you can also purchase in bulk. Now, some different book sales offer different discounts. If it be like a fill a bag sale where they'll hand you a bag and it's like $5 a bag, and you can fill up that bag with as much product as you can for $5. Usually they'll have those at the end of the day. Yeah, just take advantage of those sales. If it be a fill a bag sale, maybe on the last day it's half off, so everything's half off. So definitely book sales are a great place to start. And like I mentioned, 70% of my inventory when I was doing reselling, it was books because they're so cheap to buy and the return on the investment is insane. So definitely make sure you check out book sales. Now, another great place to source are going to be thrift stores. Now, what I really like about thrift stores is they are everywhere and they're open 7 days a week. Savers, Goodwills, Salvation Armies are some of the more popular ones. Also, you can go to some of those mom and pop thrift stores, which are probably going to have a lot less competition. Now, with thrift stores, it's going to be very consistent in pricing. You go to one Goodwill, a hardback's going to be $3. You go to another Goodwill, the hardback's probably going to be around the same price. And also, thrift stores run discounts. Now, mainly it's on like clothing and stuff, but sometimes they might run like a clearance sale on books or electronics and stuff, and they usually color code it. So like if it's a yellow day, every electronic that has one of those yellow color codes on it, it's going to be 30% off, 40% off, whatever discount that they're running. Now at thrift stores, they're going to be a broad range of products. If you're comparing like a thrift store to like a garage sale, you're maybe going to have two electronics, maybe 5 to 20 books. At a thrift store, you're going to have 1,000 to 2,000 books. You're going to have 50 different electronics to look through, tons of different video games and toys. So it just gives you a lot bigger of a range of items to look for, do a lot more scanning, and just have a better chance of finding a lot more abundance of items to be able to resell. Now, another great thing about thrift stores is you can make returns. So when it comes to selling electronics, the number one thing is just the electronic doesn't work. So make sure that if you're thinking about purchasing electronic, make sure you test it out at the Goodwill. Make sure everything's working. And even when you purchase it at the Goodwill or whatever thrift store you're at, make sure you just take it home, test it, maybe put a DVD in it. Just make sure that it works because you definitely don't want to go send it up to Amazon, sell it for $250 when you bought it for $10, and you waited 6 months for it to sell. Then your customer gets it and they say it doesn't work. Amazon refunds them and you're out $230 in profit because you didn't test it, and you're also out your time and money that you spent on that product. So definitely make sure you test it on electronics, and thrift stores are definitely a great place to source. But one of the last places I'll be talking about that you can source from are online websites, eBay and AliExpress and Alibaba. So with online websites, obviously it's going to be a super low buy cost because you're going to be able to go to a few different sites, see who has the lowest price, the best bargain, and purchase that item. Now, depending on if you're buying like just a one-off electronic on eBay Or maybe if you're purchasing like a water bottle cover off of AliExpress, you can order a larger quantity. So on AliExpress, you can purchase a quantity of 1, a quantity of 5, a quantity of 10, whatever quantity that you want. Now, I didn't have it up here, but Alibaba is basically AliExpress on steroids. It's basically the wholesale website. So if you find a product that's selling, for instance, I always like to give the example of the fidget spinners. Let's say you want to sell a black fidget spinner, but you don't want to make a huge investment up front. You just want to test it out. You can go buy that spinner off AliExpress, let's just say for $2, and you want to buy 10 units. So then you've got 10 units. They sell well, and you're like, all right, I want to make a larger order, and you want to brand it, also known as private labeling, which is what I do. It's what I've created a course over. It's what makes me upwards of $25,000 per month in sales, is going and finding a generic product that is having success. So if this fidget spinner, this black fidget spinner, is having success selling on Amazon, I can go and I can place an order of like, I don't know, 1,000 spinners. I can brand that generic spinner with my company brand, my company logo, and then sell that product back on Amazon for premium, also known as private label. Now, another great thing about when you're sourcing online is you can have it shipped directly to your house, which means you don't have to drive to the nearest garage sale. You don't have to drive to the nearest Goodwill or the nearest book sale. You can have it shipped directly to your doorstep. And also, you're going to have just a way larger selection of products. I mean, you walk into a garage sale, you walk into a Goodwill, you're maybe going to have 1,000 books, maybe a 50 electronics. You search on eBay for electronics, there's going to be thousands, hundreds of thousands of millions of electronics that you can look through to see if you can make any money flipping it from eBay to Amazon. AliExpress has millions of different products as well for extremely low prices. So definitely make sure you check out online websites as well. Now that I've given you a quick little rundown of what exactly reselling is, where you can source certain products, what you should be looking for, and a couple of the benefits of reselling on Amazon FBA, I'm going to give you a final breakdown of reselling on Amazon. You can even screenshot this as well and just keep it with you if you're thinking about reselling on Amazon FBA. Now, first off, it's going to start with sourcing. If it be going to garage sales, thrift stores, book sales, you're going to have to purchase inventory to resell. Now, there's a few different ways you can actually determine if you want to purchase these products or not. Now, it's extremely easy for like books and CDs and video games because on the back of the product, there's going to be a barcode. And all you have to do is, even with your Amazon seller app, which is free, or you can use certain apps like FBA Scan, which you have to pay for, but you can basically scan that barcode, and whatever app you're using, it's going to pull down the whole database for that product. And the most important things for that product are obviously going to be the price and the sales rank. So before you even look at the price, you need to be looking at the sales rank of that product. The sales rank is going to help you determine how well and how often that product is selling. So obviously, the lower sales rank that product has, the more often it's selling. Now, sales ranks are just extremely wild when it comes to if you were to compare books to electronics. For instance, if I'm looking at electronics, I would like to stay under a 100,000 sales rank because that's been selling maybe every month, once every 2 months. Now, for books, I like to stay under a 1 million sales rank because there's a lot more books out there and they're going to be selling a lot more frequently compared to electronics. And when it comes down to it, you just need to be able to analyze if this product is going to be profitable, if you're going to be buying it for $2 and selling it for 15, what's the sales rank, how long is it going to take you to sell that product, and is it worth your time? Now that you've sourced all your products and you build up an inventory base of around 25, 50, 75 items, it's going to be time to create your shipment and ship it to the Amazon warehouse. Now, it's pretty simple. It's not as complicated as most people think. You're just going to go to Amazon Seller Central. You're going to click on create a shipping plan, and you're basically going to be entering all the different products and prices. So you're going to go and you're going to add this ASIN. You just type in the ASIN or the name of that product. You're going to put in the price that you want for that product, the conditions. For instance, if you're selling a book and it's in used condition, you can pick anywhere from acceptable, good, very good, like new, and new. Any one of those 5 conditions for your book, put your price in, and then move on to the next product. And once you have all your products put in to your shipment plan, you can then actually ship it to Amazon. They'll give you the warehouse and everything, and you just put in the dimensions of the box, the weight of the box, and you can just drop it off at your local carrier, if it be UPS, FedEx, whichever one that you select, and you're good to go. You don't have to touch that again. It's going to arrive at the Amazon warehouse. Probably within a week, Amazon's going to take around 24 to 48 hours to take your inventory from that box, scan it in before it's actually live and for sale on Amazon.com. Now it comes down to the third step. The title of this video: how to make $10,000 per month fast in 2018. The only way you're going to reach $10,000 per month is to scale. If you're buying books for $1 and you're selling them for $25 and you're making around $20 profit, how many more books are you going to need to source to reach $10,000 per month? How many electronics, if you're making $50 profit, how many more electronics are you going to be able to purchase per month to make $10,000 per month? You need to keep running those numbers through your head and just keep repeating the process. Keep going and sourcing. Keep creating bigger and bigger shipments. Keep adding more products to your inventory and just keep sourcing and adding new items to your stock. That's the only way you're going to scale. That's the only way you're going to go from $1,000 per month to $5,000 to $10,000 to $20,000 per month. It's to just keep sourcing, keep finding profitable items, and keep sending them to Amazon. So that's it for this video on the best way to make $10,000 per month fast in 2018. If you guys enjoyed this video, please feel free to comment below with any questions and or video ideas you'd like to see in the future. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe, as I'm always giving away different tips and tricks on how to make money online. And on that note, I'll see you guys next video.